All right, y'all. It is Oklahoma week. This is something that we have been waiting on for a really long time. The first true big game. NC State was a pretty big game. This is a monster game. This is going to be a game between two top 10 programs all time in college football. This is a game in which our coach was their quarterback at one time. He won a national title. There's a lot of implications in this game. This is Oklahoma's first SEC game. And so Oklahoma, Norman, is going to be rocking. It is going to be loud, and it's going to be intimidating. And I'm really interested to see how Nico Iamaleava does good in this game. We're going to see his maturity and see how he plays. Monster game. I cannot wait to watch it played. Tennessee is the better team. Now, the better team don't always win. So I just want to get that out there. But Tennessee 100% should win this game. And if Tennessee plays good, they will. But there will be things Oklahoma's going to try to do to spoil that, and I'm going to talk about that. So let's talk more about this game. It is the number 6 Tennessee Vols going to Norman, Oklahoma to play the number 15 Oklahoma Sooners. This game is going to be this Saturday, September 21st at 7:30. So, this is going to be a monster game. College game day is going to be there. It's got there's nothing this game is lacking, and I can't wait to watch it. So let's compare these two teams. Let's break them both down. Strength of schedule so far, Tennessee has the 45th strength of schedule. They're 3-0. Tennessee has beaten UT Chattanooga, NC State, and Kent State. So it's not like they've had this, gauntlet of a schedule. But the opponents that they have played, they have took care of. They've done exactly what they're supposed to against the teams that they've been scheduled to play, outscoring those teams 191-10. I'll take that every day. I don't care if we're playing local high school teams. That's impressive. Last week beat Kent State 71-0. Could have been much worse, let me tell you, because the 4th and 5th string played. If the first string, second string would have stayed in, it would have been well over 100. Oklahoma's 3-0. They got the 29th hardest schedule, so they played a little bit harder of a schedule. Not much, but they have played harder opponents. They've played Houston, they have played Tulane, and they have played Temple the first game this year. They're coming off a game where they beat Tulane 34-19. Looked pretty good. Defensively, Oklahoma looks really good. I'll get more into that later. This game, Tennessee is favored by 7 points. And, I think when this spread opened up in the preseason, Oklahoma was actually favored. But 3 games into this year, it has switched to Tennessee because Tennessee has looked more impressive. Let's talk about players to watch in this game. Nico Iamaleava for Tennessee, 698 yards, 6 TDs. He's got an 80.7 QBR ranking. He's played really good. There's a couple rough spots he had in the NC State game, but other than that, he's been lights out. Couldn't ask for more. Jackson Arnold for Oklahoma. He's got 484 yards, 7 TDs, and he has a 58 QBR ranking. Nico this far has outplayed Jackson Arnold, but to be fair to Jackson Arnold, he's not gotten a lot of help. I think Oklahoma is 112th in allowing sacks. They're allowing 3 sacks a game. They're not protecting him very well. And I said in the preseason, the sore spot on this Oklahoma team would be that offensive line. And so far, they've not performed too well. And they better get much better this week. Dylan Sampson for Tennessee, you could make an argument he's the best, running back in the SEC 3 games into the season. He's got 357 yards and 9 TDs. For Oklahoma, Danny Stutzman. This guy, I watched him a little bit yesterday. I watched 3 plays from Oklahoma playing Tulane, the 3 plays, and he had 3 tackles in the 3 plays that I watched. He is all over the field. He is a field general. He gets them lined up. He flies around the field. He's got 33 tackles this year. He has 299 career tackles. So he is the guy you want going against Tennessee this week, and it's going to be a challenge to Tennessee getting him out of position and making him pay because he is a really good football player. James Pierce for Tennessee, and I'm going to tell you, if you look at the stat line, James Pierce has not done anything this year, but it's misleading if you're an Oklahoma fan, I'm going to tell you, because one, we've completely blown out opponents, so he's not played much. In the first game of the year, he only played 10 snaps. He did play the whole NC State game. He had 1 tackle in that game. And then this last game, he didn't play much because we were blowing out Kent State. But This guy has been getting back to quarterbacks, rushing throws, causing a lot of havoc. I expect him to have a much better week this week, and I expect him to have an impact in this game. Deion Burks for Oklahoma, 22 receptions, 169 yards, and 3 TDs. He's a really good wide receiver. Played 3 years at Purdue. He is one of Jackson Arnold's favorite targets, and Tennessee needs to be aware of him, especially in the red zone. So let's break this game down a little bit further. Let's talk about this Tennessee offense versus the Oklahoma defense. Tennessee's total offense is second in the country, 639 yards. Guys, it would have been worse if we didn't put the scrubs in. So this offense could be even that more potent with the yards if we'd have left them in there. But Oklahoma total defense 27th, 265 yards allowed. This is going to be by far Tennessee's hardest opponent as far as defensively. Oklahoma has a very solid defense. I think they're a top 5 defense in the SEC. Scoring offense, Tennessee is first, putting up 64 points a game. Oklahoma scoring defense is 23rd. They're only giving up about 11 points right now a game. Very elite. Rushing offense, Tennessee is third, 336 yards a game. We're following up where we left off last year in that rush offense. We were a top 10 rush offense last year, and it looks like it's going to be the same this year. Rush defense, Oklahoma's 22nd. They're only giving up 78 yards on the ground a game. That's very elite. Under 100 yards a game to me means you have a really good rush defense. That's going to be a key matchup this weekend. Who is going to win that battle? In my opinion, Oklahoma is going to have to keep Tennessee under 150 yards rushing if they expect to win this game. They're going to have to keep Tennessee's rushing game in check. That's going to be a challenge because Tennessee spreads you out wide, and if you come in to load the box, you're going to have a lot of issues. Tennessee has an experienced offensive line, Spraggins, Mays, and Campbell. These guys have got close to 100 combined starts in their careers, and they're good. They're good offensive linemen. So, passing offense, Tennessee's 23rd, 303 yards. Much better so far this year than last year. That was an Achilles heel, and this year it looks much better. Passing defense for Oklahoma's 58th, 187 yards allowed a game. That's a little bit suspect. That's something Tennessee might be able to take advantage of. So now let's talk about Tennessee's defense versus the Oklahoma offense. This is more of a mismatch. That right there, the one I just talked about, the Tennessee offense versus Oklahoma defense, is going to be tightly contested, 2 really good matchups. This right here is a little bit more lopsided in Tennessee's favor. Tennessee's total defense so far, 3 games in this season, is second, only giving up 161 yards on the all game long. Oklahoma's total offense is 108th, only averaging 325 yards a game. Oklahoma's offense, I think Oklahoma fans will agree with me when I say this, it has been disappointing. And Oklahoma fans are like, we've had this great offense all these years, and we had a bad defense, and now it's complete opposite. So, and that's just how it's worked out this year so far. Scoring defense for Tennessee is third. They're only giving up around 4 points a game. Oklahoma is their scoring offense is 49th. They are averaging 34 points a game. They're going to have to score a lot more. I don't know if they can score enough points to beat Tennessee, but we'll talk more about that in a minute. Rushing defense, Tennessee's 4th. They're only giving up 56 yards on the ground a game. Great Tennessee had a great rush defense last year. And it's followed over to this year. Oklahoma's rush offense is 67th, 159 yards a game, and they're going to have to run. They're going to have to run well over 100 yards if they want to win this game. So, and that will be a challenge against this Tennessee defensive line, who I think is the best defensive line in college football. Tennessee's pass defense is 5th, only giving up 105 yards a game. I would take that all day. If you'd say, hey, Philip, 3 games in this season, Tennessee's going to be 5th in pass defense, only giving up 105 yards, I'd say sign me up right now, because we thought that would be the Achilles heel. But they're going to be tested. Deion Burks and company with Jackson Arnold have much better weapons than what Tennessee has went against yet this year. So let's see how they play this week. And that secondary is they are, they're gifted the opportunity of having a defensive line and linebacking core like Tennessee that help make their job a lot easier too. So they have to continue. They're going to have to put pressure on Jackson Arnold this week. He cannot have a lot of time to throw. If he does, he can cause our secondary to have a lot of problems. Oklahoma's passing offense is 114th, 169 yards a game, and this blows me away. I watched Oklahoma last year, and they just threw it all over the field, high-scoring offense. I'm really surprised that they have dropped off. I think a lot of this is the offensive line not protecting their quarterback, giving him time to make throws. Well, guess what? It's not going to get any easier this week, and it will be interesting to see how the Oklahoma coaching staff has done things to maybe give him more time, maybe roll him out of the pocket, do things to make Jackson Arnold's life easier this week. Now, I'm going to talk about something right here where Oklahoma has a major advantage and one thing they have excelled in, and that is turnover margin. Tennessee right now is 49th. They're just +1 on turnovers. Well, guess what? It don't get no better than Oklahoma has this year. They're second in the country. They are +8 in turnovers. Very opportunistic fumbles, interceptions, and that is one thing Tennessee cannot do this week. If Oklahoma wants to pull this upset, they're going to have to continue this trend in the turnover margin. Give their offense a short field and give them a chance to win this game. Penalties. Neither team's very good in this. They're basically the same stats. Tennessee is 79th, 58.7 yards a game at penalties. Oklahoma is 77th and 58 yards in penalties. So both teams need to do a little bit better with penalties. Prediction. So this is not as cut and dry as people think. A lot of people, I've looked at, some predictions on this game, and a lot of people just nonchalantly say Tennessee wins this game. And I do think Tennessee wins this game, but it's going to be very hard to go to Norman, Oklahoma, 7:30 college game day. I think Oklahoma's defense is going to play very well. I do. Tennessee's not going to score their normal points like they have before. I mean, they're going against a very formidable defense in Oklahoma. But the mismatch in this game that I just don't see Oklahoma being able to overcome is the Tennessee defense versus the Oklahoma offense. There is a major mismatch with Tennessee's defensive line versus Oklahoma's offensive line. I said this in the preseason. That's why I picked Tennessee in the preseason to beat Oklahoma, where most people in the preseason were picking Oklahoma to win this game. I said there's too much of a mismatch at the line of scrimmage. Tennessee's front seven is going to get to Jackson Arnold a lot. They're going to cause a lot of issues, and Oklahoma is not going to put up a lot of points in this game. And Oklahoma is going to have to score at least 30 points to win this game, and I don't think they score 30 points. So I think Tennessee is going to win this game 38-24. Josh Heupel comes back to Oklahoma, comes back to his alma mater, gets a huge win. Tennessee is going to move into the top 5 next week, but a big statement for the Vols. Tennessee gets the win and they move to 4-0. Guys, thank you for watching this video. I'll talk to you later.